can't hold it back. I can't hold it back.
Hey everyone, hello, happy Sunday everybody, and we are on our second episode for Streaming Hot. My name is Bobby Rodriguez. To all those who are watching on my YouTube channel, thank you so much. Our first episode made quite a good impression for traction. A lot of people came to watch and they stayed because probably the topic was something that's really quite, curious and interesting for everybody. A lot of them left wonderful comments. Thank you for the feedback. It was just our first episode, my first episode, and I will try my best to keep improving. And we can only do that with your feedback and, of course, comments because for this kind of streaming that I'm doing, actually, this is more like just putting together my friends, tackling topics that are organized so that we don't, we don't spend our weekends on senseless blabber, over drinks. But sometimes it's something that we need. That's something that we all, kind of like we wanted to have a break out of our usual routine. So for tonight's topic, everybody, it's gonna be a little bit more serious compared to the K-drama topic that we had last time. In fact, I promised that we were gonna have a back-to-back topic tonight, but for practicality reasons, I want to focus on just one topic. And of course, my other topic had to be rescheduled because of busy schedules. But we're flexible like that, so it's fine. We keep adjusting. And tonight it's gonna be worth your wait as well because we just do our live stream once a week. But we wanted to be as productive as possible this evening because we're gonna talk about something that a lot of us are pretty involved in. And for those of you who don't know, I have a serious day job, okay? Other than posting things about where I go, what I eat, and where the kind of vacations I make, I also have a job, and that is being a teacher. And tonight I've invited three of my closest friends at the Division of Humanities at the University of the Philippines, Visayas, and we're going to talk about our experiences preparing for online classes. And as probably a lot of you have heard over the news the different challenges that teachers have experienced, and most especially students as well. Tonight, you're going to hear it firsthand what we went through being professors at the University of the Philippines. It's not that different from the teachers of grade school teachers, public school teachers, even private school teachers. We did have our share of challenges as well. And tonight we want to share it with you how we have coped with it and how we are coping with it until now because classes are still pretty much ongoing. And we want to tell you the kind of things that we had to go through just to survive this semester. And we also have a special guest as we go along with the show to tell us how they have managed as students, this time from the perspective of students. So without further ado, I'm going to introduce my three wonderful guests. Of course, you've seen the posters, but tonight they have prepped themselves up to be so presentable and to be just ready for the show. As in, nag-ano gid sila, no? They really prepared for this na to the point that I'm a bit embarrassed because, this is just me on my show. But hey, we have a lot of viewers tonight. So I guess they just want to make sure that you guys have a wonderful time with us. So I'd like to start with my friend who is also now an administrator, but we're gonna stay away from all those introductions. She's just a good friend of mine, an achiever, and such a wonderful person. And I always look up to her in many ways because whenever we have conversations, whether it's over drinks or whether we're eating lechon or whether we're just pulling each other's eyebrows, I learn something from her each time. And so tonight, I promise you, you're going to learn a lot from her. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome my very good friend, Julie Prescott. Hi, Jules.
Hi, Bobby. Thanks for having me on your show tonight. So show success.
Thank you for your flag inspired get up this evening. You have anything yellow there?
No, I don't, unfortunately. That's okay. I bring the sunshine even in the middle of the evening. So that'll be my yellow.
I love it. Thank you, Jules, for joining us tonight. Looking forward to a wonderful evening with you. And of course, we have two more friends joining us, also teaching literature, just like Julie here. One of the most fabulous icons of the university. He's known for his well, his very academic and very heavy mental stuff in the arts, coming up with wonderful statements each time that I always support because I really think that his future is going to be something that everyone would always model after because of his very strong convictions promoting LGBTQ from papers to his social media. So, ladies and gentlemen, the very in love and the very fabulous Ray Hontanar.
Oh my god, you just outed me. Char.
Oh my god, was it supposed to be? Oh my
No,
god, I'm
it's not.
sorry.
It will be official next year. Yeah, I'm waiting for like my super official, Instagram post. Shut up.
Okay.
AKA nerdy, AKA the most nerdy
Yeah.
faculty member who is so obsessed like with literary theory. That's why I'm gonna talk about literary theory later.
I'm
Good
excited to
evening.
hear that.
Yeah, it's
You know,
like
Ray, each time balaya we talk, there's always like there are always aspects that you introduce me to that I really always remember because they're always so helpful in what I do as well. Because you know your stuff very well. So I look forward to this wonderful discussion with you and of course Julie here. But one more person joining us tonight, guys, is someone that I grew up with literally. Okay, she's my cousin. She's my cousin, and for the longest time, she taught way before I did. She was already a teacher before I did, and one of the one of the best cousins I have. One of the
hello.
cousins who can tell me anything and who I can run to for anything. And so it made my life so much better now that she's joined our university and our division. So here she is with us tonight to also share with us her experiences during this pandemic as a teacher. Ladies and gentlemen, Miss Elaine Logroño Monserrate. Hi, Manang. I call her
Hello.
Manang.
Good evening. Hi, Bob. Hi, Ray. Hi, Jules.
It's like the red lipstick
Hi.
now.
So
Yes,
we are together again, all four of us.
yes.
Who's absent in this circle?
I can name a few people.
Charmy.
The charming.
Sorry.
Well, she can't be in both shows, right? Wow,
I think
grabe.
she's with
Ganun
Daniela
tayo.
tonight. She's like having dinner with
She
Drew and
was,
Daniela.
she was on the first night.
Charmy's
Yeah.
watching us tonight. So Charms, thank you. Wow, grabe. First minute and we're already hitting like 26 viewers watching us live. Good evening, everybody. Thank you for joining us. Yes, Manang, you're saying?
Good evening, everybody.
So we are in our different homes, and I think we have gotten so accustomed to this setting, right? Day
Oh,
in and day out, pretty much. Right? Ray, how has
yes.
it been for you? I want to go through this
I'm
very.
holding scented candles. That's like my new therapy right now. Like I'm lighting a scented candle down here.
Do you have? What's that?
Yeah.
That's for
It's like the ultimate
relaxation.
tita. Yeah, like they're so relaxing. It's piña colada.
Oh my
Like
I
I'm no
have
god.
longer
that.
hoarding. I'm no longer hoarding shoes. I'm hoarding scented candles. It's a sign of
Oh my
maturity.
gosh. Wow. I have this thing na you plug lang and then you remember I was looking for the oil or like a water-based fragrance. It's
Yes.
actually a humidifier, but it's
Humidifier,
working.
yeah.
Bala Jules, do you have that at home also?
Yes,
Do
I
you have
do.
that?
Yes, with
Yeah,
essential
super
oils.
tita, nagkikita ya. Like we are really
Tita.
getting there with our obsession in life.
Ikaw Manang, what do you have in your home to keep you relaxed despite the pressures?
Scented candles and metal music played by my husband.
Relaxing, heavy metal.
I just want to share to all my viewers, my friends, that both the husbands of Julie and Elaine are music lovers, and
Yeah.
they have clicked the moment they met, right? Because they
Yeah.
spoke basically the same language.
Yes.
But probably Julie and Elaine don't know a thing about, or
Yes.
do you,
Oh,
Julie? Do you know stuff about that?
kind of learned about it through the years, you know.
Yeah,
You get
being exposed
to
to
do.
them, diba? You learn. However, they definitely speak each other's language in a way that they both, write music, play music, sing
Yeah.
songs. So feeling ko gani they're closer than me and Elaine are now
Yeah,
because
true.
they're always like chatting, they're always at each other's houses.
And
Oh,
without
that's
us
great.
knowing, who's coming today?
Yes, exactly.
So, okay, they're friends. That's a good thing, though.
Yes. So
Yeah. Yeah, so okay, so well, let's get on with what we have prepared for tonight. And just like in my previous show, we already have kind of discussed what to cover. But tonight, guys, we want to talk about really our own experiences as teachers. And we might be limited to the idea that our discussion will be about being college professors. I think there's a difference between a college professor than a teacher who teaches basic education, right? Manang Elaine, no? We know the
But
difference.
yeah.
Yeah, and I myself and Manang Elaine, we both have. I think we have taught in different year levels, and
Yeah.
there are different expectations, output expectations, and the stuff that you do as teachers. But for tonight, our focus really is to talk about our experiences as college professors, because this is one aspect that probably some of you are also curious to find out exactly what kind of things we do in UP other than protesting. Okay, panindigan na lang namin yan. Ayaw niyo sa amin kasi puro kami protesta. Eh, may katuturan naman, di ba? Eh, ayoko maging political tonight. Parang, why am I carried away? Kasi yung mga red tagging, it also affects me. Kaya parang, di ba, ano ba yan? Bakit? Parang,
And
di
you know
ba? But
what
anyway,
is wrong
we'll
with
save that for
protest,
later if
diba?
we have more time. But anyway, guys, again, yes, it's something also very interesting, and I actually think I'm thinking of having a topic on that, and I want to guess Chancellor.
Yeah.
Why not?
Diba?
Bongga.
Oo,
It's
si
such
Chancellor
a
mismo. We can
Well,
have him
asking
on
for
star-studded
you.
show.
Yes. Okay, let's start with Julie. My first question goes to you. Take us back, or tell us how you prepared for online teaching the moment we received word that it's gonna be online remote learning. Tell us your experience. Basically, like if you can recall, what went to your mind and what actual steps you took to prepare for this particular phenomenon.
Yeah, okay. Well, there were a few things. I mean, aside from, having to think about coming up with the modules, which I think we all had to do, I think that's standard already. So I'll skip past that, thinking about what lessons to actually prepare, what the content of your module is once you get told which classes you're going to teach. The main thing that came to my mind first, if I recall, and the main thing I tried to focus on was planning how I was going to make the semester interesting, despite the fact that it was going to be modular. I didn't want it to be just modular. I didn't want it to be where I gave the modules, I would see them at the beginning, and then I wouldn't have any relationship with my students. I didn't want to force them to have to attend online classes if they didn't, or if they didn't want to, or if they couldn't because of connectivity. But I wanted to set it up that if they were available, I was there to synthesize whatever the modules were to make it easier for them. Because I was afraid that with modular learning, it would become a bit more like they're simply finishing tasks and beating deadlines and not really learning. I wanted them to actually learn something. So I tried not to make the modules too heavy. And there were 5 things really that I focused on. The first was setting up a good work environment for myself. I think
Yeah.
that in order to work properly, I need to have a space working from home that would be good. So I bought myself a bigger monitor screen. I prepared second my technology. I made sure I had the right, upgraded our internet connection. I bought a ring light because, of course, I needed to be seen properly. All of that.
We
I know
all
it
did. We
Yeah,
all
I know
did.
it sounds really petty, but I think it makes a difference if they can see you properly for the students.
Yes.
And then, of course, the
Yeah.
third was I wanted to set up avenues of communication where I could communicate regularly, not just the prescribed LMS of the university, but email, Facebook groups, and other chat groups that would allow them to have multiple avenues to communicate with me so I could get feedback. And then, last but not the least, and most importantly, I really tried to think about how I was going to motivate my students. So I knew that as a public speaker, I thrive off, organic connectivity. I
Yeah.
thrive off looking at reactions. And then I think I'm a bit of a performer, even as a teacher. I like to see how they're reacting, and then I'll react to that. But this is a whole new different ball game. With online, you can't sometimes see them. So I really needed to think about how I could put on a show rather than start a conversation, which is
Yeah.
what I would normally do in classroom setting. And those were the things, siguro, that at least at the beginning really preoccupied my mind when I was preparing for moving to online learning from face to face.
If there's one thing, Jewel, that I really like about your story of preparing for online teaching, it's like you are actually putting yourself in the shoes of your students, especially the part where you're saying like how you can actually motivate them, how you can make sure that it's not just gonna be a task focused kind of module you're preparing. So there's a lot of creativity required there, right? Like coming up with your
Yes.
modules. Yeah.
It's a lot more work. I mean, I could have just created the modules and said, right, you have your assignments, you have your instructions, you have your resources, submit on the deadline date, and that could have been it for me. I could just,
Yeah.
check the work and give it back. I didn't
Mm.
have to every single, like module make sure I did a synthesis lecture. The synthesis lecture is just me synthesizing everything, opening myself
Right.
up to questions and explaining the difficult readings,
Yeah.
which I would have done in a regular face-to-face setting, or somehow tackled it in a way.
Yeah.
But I can't do that as easily with online. But I still made sure that I did that for every single lesson, barring one siguro that got because of the challenges throughout the sem, diba? There were cancellations. So
Yeah.
there was one that I missed, I think, for one subject, but the rest I did still the synthesis. Because I think it's more important. I mean, sometimes, when we're focused on output, how are we going to grade them? We forget that sometimes, are they actually learning anything, or are
Yeah.
they just going through the motions? And I didn't want it to be
True.
like that. As a
Yeah.
teacher, I didn't want my students to feel like that. So I tried to make sure that I prepared in a way that it wouldn't come across like that for them, that they would enjoy it, but at the same time, not feel like they're pressured, but they're still actually learning. I hope I succeeded. I'm not even sure if I did. That was the attempt anyway, for me.
Well, I can see that. Well, each time we see each other, and then I ask you how it is for you. Well, I guess you have, because it seems like you are keeping the schedule based on how you have planned it, and I think that's one sign that, hey, things are doable the way you designed them in your head and how you have anticipated the schedule, right? So wonderful, and I hope that that will be the same model we will use for the next sem, because I think we're still gonna do online pa rin.
Yes. I don't see online going away anytime soon.
Oh my God, please. I want to go back on campus, and
I
I want
miss
to
me
see
and
who's a great
I
teacher.
miss teaching face to face so much.
Yes,
Me
I
too.
know. All right. Okay. Manang Elaine, what was the
Yeah.
hardest part? What was the hardest part preparing the course packs? For the information of our friends, course packs is also our module. It's everything you will put together for your students. So in UP we call it course packs, and we had to prepare it a few months before the actual rolling out or the start of classes. So I want to ask Miss Elaine here, how what was the hardest part of preparing the course packs?
Oh, where to begin? Well, like
You
Julie,
mean there's a lot?
well, I have to admit I'm not technically inclined like you guys are, so that was one of the most difficult things to do. Like, how do I put a video in my PowerPoint or things like that? But that's just one thing. But I think the most challenging is really how to translate what you teach face to face. How do you translate that into something that's online that will make students still interact with you, make it
Mm.
interesting, but at the same time, you don't make it too heavy for them. So,
Yeah.
to be honest, even if we made the course packs and we designed it the way we wanted to design it, there were still
Mhm.
some things that had to change along the way. So that was, oh God, how do you make a student deliver like a short skit kasi if it's face to face, ibang level yung interaction ng lahat ng students, right? But for
Yeah.
them to do it online in a room alone, it's a totally different, like it's totally different. So I'm like, oh God,
Awkward.
diba? Parang awkward. But I cannot say that it was the most challenging for me. I think the most challenging is how do you make all of these things in a matter of a month? I think we were given a month or two, right, around that. If you were to create a module, it takes a long time. I know that because I've made a lot of modules.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
this time, the pressure is just that you have to do this by this time, and you have to make it interesting and effective, and these things. But actually, Bob, that's something very easy for me. I can't imagine what you went through. What was the hardest thing for you? Diba?
Yeah.
What I went through.
I think mine is really nothing compared to what you went through. So, okay pa rin. Go lang. Go sa second sem na course pack.
We are not really pedagogical people in the humanities. We have to
Yes.
admit that.
True.
Like,
True.
it's
Yes.
so logical. It's so fully organized. Like
Yeah.
especially me, that my background, like I'm fresh from Diliman, and my background
Yeah.
really is
Yeah.
literary studies and literary criticism, and it's like a separate dimension away. And
Mm.
making the course packs was really a struggle. Like I really, really struggled making them, especially with all the logical skills, with all the it's very OBE, diba? Like
The
it's so
output
detailed.
thing.
Like these are the outcomes. These are like the
Right.
goals needed before the semester ends, etc., etc. And literary theory was not like that. Like it's
Yes.
the
so.
thing the
I
thing with us
really had
in
a hard
UP
time.
especially is because we're not used to being asked to, what do you call this, like really come up with a structured material
Mhm.
prior to
Yeah,
teaching the
yeah, yeah.
course, because
Right.
Yeah.
remember we always promote the concept of
Academic
academic
freedom.
freedom and the freedom to explore the course the best way the
Right.
professor knows how. So now suddenly we're given just a few months to work on something highly structured and highly measurable at the same time. And it's something
Right.
alien to a lot of the faculty members there. I mean,
Mm.
yeah, I'm just fortunate that I started my teaching career in a Catholic school where, yeah, in Sagrado, and we had PASCO, the accreditation
Yes. Yes.
system,
For private schools.
wherein yes, and we did that very regularly to the point that I understood how pedagogies work. Inside the classroom management, even your student guidance, and all those things that we don't do in UP. And this
Mhm.
had to happen this year, a few
Yeah.
months, and then
Yeah.
like just like that. So I guess it was really quite challenging for us. And Kev's here comments that that's why some teachers called it
Call
the
it the
curse.
curse pack. Hi, Sir Kev. Good evening.
Yes. Yes.
Oh my
That's
god.
correct.
Kevs, you're
Diba?
supposed
Like
to be you're supposed to be grieving there.
it's like decades of tradition. UP was like this, and all of a sudden it all came shopping because there's this course packs, like changing the entire dynamics of
Right.
teaching. It
Yeah,
was
but
really
Ray,
fun.
we were talking about all these difficulties. Pero was there a fun part preparing the course pack from your experience?
I always make, I have this certain thing about me that I really, very kita yung nag-grade, diba? Na finding the silver lining, like making good things out of difficult situations.
Yes.
So I think the pandemic really changed the educational landscape, not just in the country, but in the whole world. And
Yes.
it hit us differently. Like,
Uh-huh.
the literary person in me has like super weak pedagogical skills. Like
Mm.
my training was more on literary studies. So before we really relied on the syllabus. It's just the
Yeah.
syllabus, like that allows us to be like it gave us the backbone of the semester.
Mm.
So now it really
And that was
gave
enough,
me
right? The syllabus was
that was
enough.
enough. Di ba? Tapos may
Yeah.
halatang mga, oh my God, like, okay, this is gonna be my activity next week. This is gonna be my readings for next week. So it was like free flowing. But
Mm.
now it really gave the semester a certain structure, like the
Mhm.
outcomes, the OBE, etc., etc.
And
I
Ray,
think
we are counting the hours, the number of
Yes.
hours per
yes,
week,
oo.
which is not the
Mm-mm.
usual for UP people. Like, oh my God, like
We're
we
so
can adjust
fluid
in the
in
middle
UP.
of the
We are
SEM, right?
super
Yeah.
fluid.
Sorry, go
So,
ahead, please, Ray.
so I think the fun part, I think it's like the nerd in me kind of enjoyed preparing the course packs because I was like diving into like my pile of books and rereading
Uh-huh.
all the brainstorming, like which
Mm.
author to include, which theorist to omit, etc., etc. Like I'm teaching
Yeah.
literary theory this semester. It's never an easy task. That's why it's always a
Yeah.
challenge to
Yeah.
keep up with contemporary trends and to make reading materials fun and relatable. So for me, for the nerd in me, I think it was the
Mm.
reading aspect that I really enjoyed the most.
But
I
did you
think
guys sustain the energy the way it was since the start of the semester until now? Is it sustained as far as you as teacher is concerned? What do you think, Jules?
I think, well, for me, yes. But then
Mm.
again, my personality is always rah rah rah.
Right,
So
right,
um,
right, right.
I mean, when I realized that the SEM was going to be cut shorter, even
Uh-huh.
shorter than, I mean, it was already a shorter sem to
Right.
begin with.
Yeah.
And then obviously, I mean, when I said cut shorter, di ba, we had typhoons, we had a lot of challenges. So
We had
there
the
were times
sudden
when, yeah, so
we
we
had
had
the
like
sudden break, right? Study
Yeah.
break or
2 to
something.
3 weeks where,
Yeah.
well, 2 weeks and a bit, where some students couldn't attend. And, I didn't want to force them. So I gave them
Yeah.
breaks. And therefore, I had planned it according to the shorter schedule that we had. So to make it less of a burden for my students, I said, okay, I'm not going to require any more extra outputs, but I still completed all my lessons and the synthesis anyway. So I said, you don't have any assignments to submit,
Yeah.
but if you want to attend, just come and listen to me talk. So that if you feel like, you can do that, you'll take something away from it, hopefully.
Yeah.
I actually, I mean, I don't like online learning anywhere near as much as I like face to face. I'm not gonna
Yeah.
lie and say that.
Yeah.
But I did enjoy learning a hell of a lot more about technology, learning how to navigate things. I enjoyed the whole learning process that I had with it. And I enjoyed that aspect of it. Pero certainly the amount of effort I put in, uh, I've always been the kind of person that I put in the same amount of effort from start to finish, and that didn't change with online learning. So for me, it didn't. I still had the same level of, excite. Well, I don't know if I'd call it excitement, but certainly drive that I had from beginning to end.
Ikaw, Manang, how has it been for you so far?
I have to tell. I have to be honest. Well, the first couple of months it was fantastic, and then I was go go go. Then I have to
Yeah.
do this, for the kabataan, for the youth of the Philippines.
Para sa bayan.
Para sa bayan.
Wow.
Like, there came a time when you're trying so much to deliver when you're in front of the camera. Are you there? Are you listening? Nobody's responding.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
what
True,
am I
totally
doing?
agree.
I wake up very early in the morning. I put in all this effort, and then hello, and then they would send you a message, "Ma'am, sorry, bad internet." Things like that. Why?
I feel you, Manang. I feel that same way
I
too.
feel
I think
you
we all
too.
experience that, and somehow at the end of the class, you feel so drained. I don't know
Yeah.
if you
It's
felt
so
that way.
draining.
Yes,
Zoom classes
it
are
is.
like so draining.
It is
Absolutely.
draining, Manang. It is draining.
Super.
But we recently finished the sem for college students. That is for our college classes. And then you get messages from your students na, they thank you very much. It was fun. So parang ready na for second sem. We will do this again.
Wow.
But you have to admit, no, when they do that to you, ma'am, can you
I can
extend the
relate.
deadline? Right, Ray? Ma'am, can you extend the deadline?
Oh my
Out?
god, the audacity.
Really?
Like for me, like it was so peculiar because like during the first few weeks, like I really enjoyed it. Like of course you are like within the comforts of home, like
Yeah.
in a highly air conditioned place compared to me at like it's sweltering there. But then the lack of intimacy really affected me. Like it's just me talking to my laptop. It's just me like blabbering, blah blah blah. And then there's so many noises. Like
Yeah.
all these virtual noises cutting the spontaneous element of the classes. Like you would
Like a
throw a question and then all of a sudden they would tell you, oh sir, like bad internet, and then they would tell you that and they would just respond using the chat instead of
Yeah.
like talking. So it really affected the flow of the discourse. And
Yes.
I found it uncomfortable. Di ba? Like compared to a class, a heavy, feverish class discourse. Like
Yeah.
the level of spontaneity is a gazillion away compared like to Zoom classes.
Definitely.
Like what
Definitely.
Mommy Elaine said, it's so exhausting. Like after a Zoom class, I would take a nap for 2 hours
Hello?
I feel
That's
you
what I
guys.
just
said.
to
And
replenish.
for a while, I felt like my efforts are not paying off because it seems like I'm performing a lot. I mean, as far as energy is concerned, I'm up here and I
Yes.
don't get the
Reaction.
result that I expect
Yes.
because there's no reaction because
Yes.
I cannot really require them to turn on their cameras because I was told that it actually can cost more money to
More
turn
money
on the
in
camera
video.
for
Yeah,
those
yeah.
using
It needs
video.
data.
And
Yes,
for a
yes.
while, I would get really like annoyed when I ask, especially my class na general education, the GE class, because it's
Yeah.
like when I ask them like, okay guys, can you like turn on your cameras? Oh my god, no one would do it. So, but I cannot get mad. Normally in a class, I would already throw things at them, literally. But I was like, oh my god, this is recorded. So like, what if I become that teacher at
The
ESAT
viral
that's not
teacher.
viral because it
Dahil,
started.
pandemic semester made us, admit it, less meaner.
True.
True.
And I'm proud of it, guys. We have to drink to that.
Very
Yeah.
Less inner
We
teachers.
became more
As
Oh,
human,
yes.
more
you have to
understanding.
take advantage of this time because we are super less mean.
Yeah,
When we go back to the
super
classroom,
safe.
oh my God,
Mm.
the urban
We're still
legend.
Miranda Priestley in class, and now like the dynamics really change. Like
Yeah.
So
sometimes,
guys,
you know, but
I'm also excited to have with us to add more insights to our discussion. Someone who is also doing very well as a student at the university, and I'm personally, we're friends. No, we would hang out and we would chat like on a regular day. But I'm bringing her here as a student from a student's perspective, so that our discussion can have like it's both ways. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, a student of the Communication and Media Studies and one of the most sought after young female hosts of Iloilo City. Dapat maanugid siya. She will have to do well because she's surrounded by public speakers right now.
Yes.
Okay. So ladies and
we're
gentlemen,
Prescott, the champion
please
of the
welcome
fall.
Miss Hope Abilo. Hi, Hope.
No
Hello.
problem.
Hi, ma'am. Oh my God, piling ko sa confession room ko kay upod ko mga teacher to. Professor, kasi introduction ni Sir Bob. Piling ko like, doon na iko. Gid kami to sa mga wala. Kasabat kong, hi, are you there? To ask, can you still hear me? Can you understand? Mga, wala ka turn on sa camera. Lahado.
Masabat lang
Pero
sila
ang
kung patapos
classes mo
na
sa buong Hope,
klase.
puro na majors. You don't have GE anymore?
I don't have GEs anymore. And that's something I really love about the course plan of CMS because, our advisors really made sure na by the time we reach third year, fourth year, wala na kami a GE. We're just gonna
Right.
focus on majors. So, shift ko mo CMS, gusto naman nagawa.
Promotion.
Kasi mga lit man, kay may lit man, puro na sila bala lit. Ako lang din yung CMS teacher.
Ano?
Okay, Hope, tell us, share with us naman, some of the things that you think we don't know about your struggles, about your triumphs also in this time of the pandemic, and how this whole remote learning is conducted. We really want to hear from students whether or not the challenge continues or has it eased up a little bit because of the months that we have been doing this. So tell us, Hope, about all of these.
Okay, graded recitation. Pero really, since I've mentioned graded recitation, it's really, for some of us, even me, Sir Bob really knows that when I'm in class, I'm very comfortable teaching. I'm very comfortable speaking in class, sharing my opinions and my thoughts. But with online classes, you have this anxiety, especially when you pitch your ideas, because when you advertising or in TV production, you pitch, you really have to pitch your ideas. Feeling mo, oh my God, anytime, basi hindi mag-work akong PowerPoint. Or the next thing, oh my God, basi halfway through this, mas stop lang gulpi ang akong yung internet connection and the momentum. And then sometimes the momentum of the and sometimes your ideas bala ara na tani, then you just get lost along the way. So I know a lot. Ako, to be honest, I find myself very blessed and privileged because I have access to internet. I have the technology with me, but there are really a lot of students out there who are struggling, and there's a lot of them na uy naka-prepare gid ko kagina, but I wasn't able to perform, and it's very sad to hear that. And then wala ka bala may ma-help sa ila because you could only do so much. So it's the anxiety sa mga online recitation nga na mga impromptu galore na nga. Okay, Hope, can you hear me? Turn on your camera. I have a question. Dali lang gid, ma'am. Wait lang gid. Kung face to face, di wala gid problema. Maskin dira lang ko in the moment, 1 minute ko kapag-decide, okay lang gid. Pero sa mga muni nga, gym ko, dali lang gid. Ha, mapapauwi. Yeah, it's a struggle. It's very challenging. And when it comes to learning, since I really like CMS as my course, I enjoy my course. Pero lately, to be honest, feeling ko sa confession room ko, oh my God. Feeling ko sa confession room ako. To be honest, it's difficult to enjoy learning. It's a different experience when you're with your
Yeah.
classmates. You get to share ideas. Even
Yeah.
group works. Sorry, Sir Bob, group works, hindi kami always subong, pero Sir Bob, it's really difficult. You know,
Yeah.
because sometimes you have to set a certain time na available kayong lahat, or you have
Yeah.
to set a
Right.
yeah, or sometimes you're available pero the internet connection, you don't understand each other during discussion naman. So sometimes you just say, okay, amo na ning outline, good to go na ni, bahala na. Okay, tagpion ta na lang ni later on. You know, we'll just see what we have and make use of what we have. Amo lang na. So it's
Does it
very
help Hope if you have like a shared document, like kung mag-Google Docs ka mo and you all like input together? Does it make things better, faster, or more efficient? Or kailangan talaga mag-Zoom kayo?
it helps. It helps when you already know what you want to do or what you want to say.
Okay. Right,
But if
right,
you don't know what you're going to do, it's really
Yeah.
difficult. You're just gonna
Mm.
type all there together. And sometimes you just leave a comment. Ano ni
Up.
Nag-coffee hope. Nag-coffee
Ano
hope.
na, amo na ni siya.
Tara na. I hope you're back. Oh, she's back. Okay, she's back.
See, that's really a manifestation of how difficult life is and the anxiety.
Absolutely.
The
You're not
anxiety of
kidding
the-
when you said that. You're not kidding when you said
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. Diba? And what else? Even though I'm a communication and media studies major, they would think that it's easier for us to adapt, but no, it's not. Especially in CMS, and you have production classes. You know,
Oh my God.
imagine having a class in TV speech and performance. Before, you're just gonna do it right in front of a camera.
Yeah.
Says ISBL. Then you just hit record, give it to Ma'am Babette, you're good to go. So bong, I have to edit everything I do and I'm more conscious. Like, sa una, one take lang ni. Hambal ko, if sa klasiko, one take lang ni kung may sala, ti minus lang eh. So bong, I have to, gaka-conscious kung I have to repeat it again, I have to record again. And not everyone sa CMS may technology, get. Yeah, or even magka-Photoshop nga kaya sa laptop mo or Premiere or everything. It's really difficult because when you're in third year, you have your performance na, you have to learn the softwares na and everything. Pag naluoy man ko sa teacher ko sa software, he's really putting a lot of effort teaching Photoshop, Premiere, nga isa-isa gid sa Zoom. And guys, do you understand? Parang kami sa bato yes gani para maka-proceed na ta sa next. Pero sa tuod lang, sometimes we still go to YouTube and learn it again because you can't grasp the whole idea. Unlike sa face-to-face, that if you have questions, you could ask agad, you could have clarifications agad.
Right.
It's difficult, but we really appreciate the effort of our teachers. It's true. Very lenient sila subong.
Oh, I was
They're-
gonna ask pa Hope kung na-feel niyo man nga nag-relax giman ang teachers now compared to face-to-face days.
Uy, Diyos ko.
So
Sobrang
obvious
relax.
man. Oh.
Yeah, it's so relaxed. It helps.
Is it too relaxed that you also get bothered sometimes? Na parang, are you sure na it's gonna be okay or
Yeah, I think you know that. I always ask, Sir, amo man gid ning deadline. Sir, and yeah, when LMS started, we don't know how to use it. There was this
Real
one time
same.
that I thought I clicked the submit button na kay Sir Bob and he told me, oh, you did not pass. I was like, wala ako kapasa. I was pretty sure nga nakapasa ako. Tapos nagambal ko, Sir, are you sure may screenshot? Pagid ko yung Sir nga nagpasa ako. May resibo ko. And then, dito ko na-realize.
yeah, that was the early part of our class and it was like everybody has submitted except Hope. So I had to tell her, Hope, ano na, wala ka pa ka-submit. Tinagpanic na siya dayon. Nasumkinkigan pa siya sa mga classmates niya. Kaya mga classmates niya, mga techie, niya, Hope, lain na naman ang gintumok mo ya. Wala ka nagtumok sa submit na button.
There's a double submit sa LMS eh. You
Yes.
upload and then you submit. Uploading and not submitting. That happened to a few of my students sa first kumanya assignment. Nga, I was
I'm
like,
not alone.
a few people, yeah, you're not. It happened to quite a few of my students in GE where they later messaged me, Mom, I uploaded, I didn't submit. Can I submit? And I'm like, yeah, of course.
Pero
Pero
Jules, we're not as strict na, no? I mean, we try to understand na, di ba? Unlike sa face-to-face, lain siya.
Bobby, my motto is I'm so relaxed. I'm parallel. I'm so as in nga so relaxed na ko naghigda na kuya. I've always been a pretty chill person anyway, pero the
True.
pandemic has made me the chillest person ever.
Pero Hope, may mga harap pa ka mo submissions. I mean, damo pa ka mo pending nga work nga inog-submit.
Oo, Sir A, finals bala. It's the time of the
Sabagay.
year.
Yeah, final
It's the time of the
Oh my
year.
God, yeah.
Yeah. It's the
Exciting
most
time.
wonderful time.
Yeah.
Pero
Wow.
kamo manang kag kamo ni Ray, damo pa kamo chililikan nga naga-pending or
Oh, please
what the staff.
Ako
Right.
Sa
You cannot imagine. Really, I had to take a break for 2 weeks because
Mami,
of the-
tuloy ako mag-solve ng grade.
Ay, really, I'll teach you how to do the Excel thing. Let me know.
Nadili ko
What do you
ako.
mean? What do you mean, Ray? What do you mean, Ray? Ano to?
Nadili
Grade?
ko ang Excel ko.
Ginadimano niya mag
Oh my God! Wala ka
Wala
pag-Excel
siya
sa
kasama
grade?
Excel.
No, I was using Excel before.
But you
I
deleted the
didn't.
formula.
And someone was like making the grades before, and I broke off with him. So
Okay.
Oh, see?
New life na new life.
Hindi
I-
na
Sometimes you have to secure your stuff before letting go of things.
true.
Exactly.
Just go the amount of stuff that I'm normally really on top of my game when it comes to checking and giving feedback, and I feel like a really shit teacher because since I became an administrator, wala nagid ako yung may na-checkan because literally my life has like been taken over for all day, every day, including weekends, with just so much to do that I've literally not had time to check. And I have to keep apologizing to my students because I've only given half the feedback that I should. And I should have given feedback much sooner than now. Pero ang list of things to do ko laba-laba gyapon. So kung kumangkoton lang ang about sa feedback and checking, my God. So much.
I'm less strict now when it comes to deadlines, unlike before. Like students would message me like, "Sir, I can't submit on Friday because like we just we're suffering from internet connectivity issues, tapos mga nabagyuhan, etc., etc." So we try to bend our personal rules.
Yeah.
And because we are also reminded frequently by the university about being compassionate.
Yeah.
You know, you probably don't know this, or the students watching now. The university has been very consistent when it comes to reminding the faculty
Reminding us.
about like being understanding, which for me is actually something really unusual because it was never in a form of a formal communication to actually encourage teachers to be kind.
Pero subong, di ba?
This is an unusual time. It's the vice president for academic affairs of UP that would write us emails telling us like, you have to be kind and compassionate, and all. So it's like,
Send your deadline.
Imagine yun ang mga
man,
terrorists. Imagine yung mga
we
dragons
have to
na
be-
niliman.
in a way, we also, kind of listen to that because it's really, wow, for UP to actually tell us that, that's really something. That we should consider with all
Never
seriousness.
before, di ba?
Yes.
Never before.
Paradigm
Yeah, I
shift
mean,
with the,
before it's like,
Never
like,
before. Never
whatever
before.
your deadlines are, keep your deadlines. Or they don't even say that. That's just the done thing. Pero now it's like, extend, understand,
Yes. Also, di ba sabi ni Prabio,
compassion and compassion.
dapat passion and compassion give.
Brought to get proud.
Yes.
Thank you, Prabs. Hello, Prabs.
Hi, Pravi.
Gone were the days, no? Okay, 5 because we're not able to submit.
like, no assignment ko.
Yeah, and I really think pala nga ma-change naman din ang mga attitudes ng teachers even after na the pandemic because of this experience. In a way, it kind of changed us. I hope for the better, no? Diba?
You think so, Bob? Will change when it's face-to-face already? And people
I'm
tell
not sure, Manang. I cannot speak for the other teachers. Pero kasi ako, I've always been, I am more understanding of, I'm pro-student as a person. I mean, I try to understand them, except on exceptional cases. I've been telling my students that also. Kay worry ko na kisaga ka-affected ko na nga may student nga daw na-depressed gid siya because of mga grades, may mga amo na. I take it
I think
seriously, even if sometimes I am told na base the students are just taking advantage of your
Right.
kindness, of being considerate. But what if it's not taking advantage? What if it's serious? And you
Genuine
will
True.
say, di
consideration.
ba? Amo ko na eh. Kasi ako
Yeah.
naman, it's just grades. It will not define them as
Exactly.
people. Doon mo na nga ako niya principle, but that's a progressive mindset because
mm,
the academe also has its certain kind of grip on understanding standards and how you have to suffer because we are products of that hope, no?
Right.
Kami gid, we are all products
Yes.
of that tyranny. But that kind of tyranny we had to survive, it has made us become
It
really
teach,
good people in a
it
way.
gives
Yes.
So
you grit. It does give you grit. It teaches you a lot, Gidman.
cool.
Going through hardships is probably the best teacher. To be fair, it's
Ate Roy.
the most horrible experience I've had in my life are the
Yes,
experiences that teach me the most. So yes, I
correct.
agree that the hardest experiences does teach you the most and give you grit.
Yes.
Pero
True.
I despite that, I'm also someone who agrees with you, Bob. I always say, you know what? Always give people the benefit of the doubt.
True.
Don't doubt them before. Give them the benefit of the doubt. If they prove you wrong, then
Mm.
so be it. Pero until they do that, give them the benefit of the doubt.
After all, Bala Jules, what I realized all these years of teaching, ang mga students bala nga who took advantage of my kindness, the truth
Ah,
always comes out. It gets to me pa rin. I
that's
would
true.
find out. Na
Yeah.
parang, so nag-reason lang siya, kadamo bala reasons kis ano. Pero mabalaan ko man siya eh. And at the end of the day, siya man gyapon peer day. Kaya I mean,
Correct.
what's it to me
Yeah.
anyway? Di ba?
Right.
So,
Yeah.
pero,
When
I'm
you
just
con
sharing that.
when you
Ano mo
con
na bala.
someone, you're conning yourself, 'di ba? Especially when it comes to teaching or not performing, 'di ba? At the end of the
Oo.
day, if you pretend and you con someone into, not performing as well,
Yeah,
you're not challenging yourself for doing the right thing. So at the end of the day, you're shooting yourself
true.
in the foot in the long run din naman.
But I
So
must
yeah.
tell you guys, it's not really unusual. It's not really common sa UP ang mga conning niya. Unlike sa iba. I mean, we're still a lucky environment, community. Because hindi siya common. Ang mga
Hindi uso
cheating
ang con
and
artist.
Like
Oo.
we can smell it
hindi
from a mile
hindi
away.
siya. Very kumiara cases kagamay lang gid. But in my experience sa iban nga medyo mas prevalent ang ina nga may mga diskarte bala. Right man ang Elaine? You're the best person to say that.
Well, I can name a few. I can give you a few examples.
Hindi na lang. We don't want to be viral
Don't
tonight.
Go,
example.
go, gonna
Don't
play.
example.
So,
Donnie.
I was mentioning earlier, Bala Hope, no, na some students really take things seriously, especially when it comes to mga difficulties. And I'm glad nga kamo, your group, your batch, mga na-handle ko, are more mature. And in a way, you can handle different kinds of stressors. So, at this point in time, I already mentioned to our guests earlier that a video of my Comten students will be part of this show. Kaya I want to share it to everybody watching us tonight. Kay, in fairness to them, I really like the way they put their thoughts together in this video. It's very inspiring. It's their final output for my class in Comten, which is actually on integrative communications. And I wanted them to create a message of hope to the youth all around the world. And they chose this topic, which is very timely right now because a lot of students are suffering from the difficulties of online learning. And I want to share this with everybody, and I hope that this will give them more strength and empower them to survive the difficult times ahead. So I hope you stay on muna while I share the screen and show this to everyone. The output of my students in Comten. And a lot of our co-teachers are also watching or handling content. I hope they can get inspiration from this. Okay, so I'll add the screen to the stream and I will press the play button. Okay.
your hand. Baby, don't be scared of the things that could go wrong along the way. Get by with a smile. You can win everything that you can try. Baby, you don't have to worry, 'cause there ain't no need to hurry. No one ever said that there's an easy way. When they're closing all their doors and they don't want you anymore. This sounds funny, but I'll say it anyway. Hi, kamusta na? Are you okay? Please, don't forget to make time for yourself. Promise?
Balaan ko kadalok ang ito sitwasyon ta sa mo. Pero hindi pagmalimot. Maunahon naman imo makagalingon. Labi na gid may pandemya.
Sa pila ka bulan ni gatuner lang ta sa aton panimalay. Samtang gadugay, gabudlay nga gabudlay.
Puro na lang ata trahedya na pakikinggan natin sa balita. Ni wala pang isang taon ang lumipas. Basta ang daming nangyari. Sigurado nakakapagod pag-isip.
Because of this new normal, we also have to adjust to distance learning and online classes, which, understandably, not all of us are ready.
Not only do we have to deal with pages of modules, overlapping deadlines for outputs and exams, and the occasional strict professor, we also face weak internet connection and power interruptions.
No student should be left behind. Yun daang pinaglalaban ng eskwelahan. Pero para sa karamihan sa atin, na nahihirapan kong mag-adjust sa online learning, sadyang nakakapagod at masasabay sa kanila.
Hindi naman kasi lahat ay kaya na merong sariling lugar para lang makafocus sa pag-aaral. Ang daming pwedeng makaistorbo sa loob pa lang ng bahay.
Tungod kaya pagtuon, naas sa balay, obligasyon sa balay, himong pabag sa paggaling ng pagpuman sa obligasyon sa eskwelahan.
These are struggles that all just culminate into one collective mess in our heads. And it means so much of ourselves having to wrestle with every problem thrown in our way.
Mabot na sa punto na mawalan ka o paglaog, na ang imong paglaog, matabunan na sa kahadlok, na balaka o kasagoy.
Gonna stay through the bad times, even if I had to fetch you every day. Get by with a smile. You can never be too happy in this life. 'Cause in a world where everybody is a happy ending story, it's a wonder love can make the world go round. But don't let it bring you down and turn your face into a frown. You get along with a little prayer you really saw.
Basi na agyan mo ni subong tanan nga kabudlay. Basi na tanaw mo ni subong samtang inakayaw mo pabuhi.
Kung pwede lang tani nga mga gusto ka subong, para mabatsyagan mong akon nga suporta para sa imo.
Hindi ko man manan ang tanan ni imo ginaagyan ka siya, pero ang imo kasakit, mga paratsyagan, kag pagpangabudlay, valid sa natanan.
Dinamdamini. Okay naman din diri okay. Anan aksa, maaabot naton nga walay nakahangturan at natanan. Pero maliwas gihapon dinhi. Pahuway bisan na kanan makadali, magiging okay ka diha.
You are not alone. Just open your door and you will find that the best comfort and support that you need is right there, by your side. Your family, your friends.
누군가는 항상 감사하다 노래주고 그래서 마음을 열고 모든 걱정을 털어놓고 그 사람한테 이야기들이 지금 느끼면서 맡기는 감사하면서 빠져나오세요.
Hindi mo pa kailangan mag-istorya kung hindi mo pa gusto. Pero kung mahambal mo lang ang imo nabatsyagan, sa isa ka ginasaligan mo, amo na pinakanami mo nga mabatsyagan.
Kasi sa sandaling na ilalabas mo ang bigat ng iyong nadarama, mas kagaan ang iyong pakiramdam. Huwag na huwag mong ipupublik ang iyong emosyon.
Dahil walang nakakaalam kung kailan ka sasabog.
Isipin mo na lang na magiging okay din ang lahat sa huli. Magiging okay ka lang. Kasi hindi naman tayo bibigyan ng pagsubok kung hindi mo to kayang harapin at lagpasan.
Ang paglambo sa kababuhay. Iskan sa kalakap, iskan sa matag adlaw, buhatan mo. Kaya ang paglambo, iskan sugod sa ginagawa, layo ang paglambo kamay.
Please don't be so hard on yourself if you felt like you haven't done enough today. As long as you put your heart through it, your efforts are valid.
Hindi ka nag-iisa. Hindi kailangan mag-isang tahimik mo lang iniinda ang sakit. Mas nakaginhawa sa pakiramdam kung idaan ito sa usapan.
Mas bakit ka pa sa inyo na pinsan? Mabudlay to, wadang matiniot ngayon pero mas bakit pag ikaw?
Sige lang, hindi ang tanang nakabudlay, pagkasakit nga nabatigal mo subong. Hindi pagtaguan.
Healing is a journey of ups and downs, but in the end, you'll be the strongest version of yourself.
Warisakto nga pamaagi para makitungan ang mga panhinabuyan ng panahon. Sanglit himuay ting makakaya ang takudla.
Kapag nasasaktan ka, kapag feeling mo sinasaktan ka na, okay lang umiyak. Huwag mong pigilan ang tunay mong nararamdaman.
Okay lang magalit. Okay lang ipakita na galit ka. Ilabas mo lang. Huwag mong kimkimin ang pot at sama ng loob mo.
Hindi pagdura ang imo paglaom. May kasanag namang saruan. Kung sumasunod ka mga inadlaw, salig lang sa paglaom.
Have faith and hope. Even when you think there isn't. Have faith and hope.
Hindi natin alam kung anong magiging kapalaran natin, pero sapat na ang masaya at ang ngiti ka nasa kinabukasan.
Darkness is needed for the beauty of light to be visible.
Mawaglaan madadyaw ng mga adlaw. Mujanian mo sa
Malalagpasan mo din to. Tiwala lang. You survived a lot, and you will survive everything that is coming your way.
Sa imo mga tiyagan, nagkaisa rin hanggaw lang. Pero nagapangaguyo ako para kanino nga manimayag man ang tanan.
Gaya na lamang ng mga bagyo at matinding pag-ulan, lilipas nito at sa bandang huli, makikita mo muli ang pagsikat ng araw.
Kung nabanong ka at inana ka, mayuntin ka ang inanan.
Jangan risau gembira.
Keep going. Everything will be okay in the end. If it's not okay, it's not the end.
Gambate, sipay sinaide.
You are beautiful, and you deserve all the best in this world. Keep going.
Thanks naman. Swear to me that. Gusto mo sa'yo?
Padayon lang.
Shit! I believe in you. I think.
Tiga pa lang, gakanin mo. Para ikaw na guys, Ranton.
You're so brave, so strong, and so beautiful. Keep going.
Padayon lang. Proud ako kanina.
당신은 유유합니다.
Bisan ano, makabudlay or kasakit. Padayon lang
Akira minayde. Gandare!
Laban lang. Di ka dapat mawala ng pag-asa.
Okay, Hajima.
Padayon lang. Kakayanin.
Keep going.
Padayon.
Oh, di ba?
It's beautiful.
I really like it. That's why I thought of really sharing it. Mahiman kinag-timing siya sa aton na topic. And I hope the message of the video will resonate to everyone going through a difficult time with online learning. What do you think? What do you think of the video, Hope? Because I think it was addressed to you.
to students, fellow
It's very station-ID.
It works. Yeah, sa advertising, it works. But basically, sir, it's very genuine. You know, I speak their language. You know,
Yeah.
when I saw it and I hear the messages, mugid na, yeah, it's true. Mugid na feel namon. Even
Oo.
kami, na third year na kami, kag lapit na nang kami matapos, kabay pa. We feel exactly the same way that they do. It's a very,
Mhm.
sorry, it's the word is very tiring. It's kapoy.
True.
And I know nga even the teachers, you feel kapoy and all. Pero yeah, we have to do what we have to do. Gotta make it
Yeah.
Yeah.
We just
have
have
faith
to
And
in
cope and
sometimes
ourselves.
survive.
messages like that can really make a difference, no? Gamay lang na ba lang ang encouragement. It can really go a long way. So
Right.
I would like to ask everyone for their parting words because I think it's very important that we tell something to people going through similar situations like us, like from teachers' perspective to the students' perspective. So I'd like to start with Julie to give her words of advice to fellow teachers and to students as well, or regarding online learning in the time of pandemic.
Mine is going to be really simple, and it applies to both students and to teachers. So it's a double-edged message. Don't use the pandemic as an excuse not to do your job as a student or as a
Yeah.
teacher. But at the same time, don't be too hard on yourself if things don't always go right either. So find the happy balance between the two, because after all, that's what life is about. Dealing with curveballs, being prepared for every eventuality, even if you're not, and just
Yeah.
doing the best that you can with it. Because after all, diba, like Hope said earlier, you got to do what you got to do. After all, if you're going to do something, you might as well do it right. Either way, student or teacher.
Thank you, Julie. Love that. Ray, please.
This is just a weird and traumatizing experience, and we all
Yes.
experience it collectively. Like
Yeah.
we struggle in one way or another, and I always tell this to my students: you're not alone. Like
Yeah.
find a rock, like your family, your friends, your jowa, your colleagues, your different circles. Like
Yeah.
we have to just survive in our own ways. And it's not an easy thing, but as long as we have each other, like things are gonna be okay. And sooner or later, we'll be there. Like the new normal is dawning, and
True.
this is
True.
not permanent.
Very true.
Thank you. Thank you, Ray. Manang Elaine.
Yes, I'll keep this simple then like Julia, no? Earlier this year, I didn't think online teaching would be possible. But look at us, we're almost done for the first semester, di ba?
Right.
So it tells you, and it tells everybody, anything is possible, actually. You just really have to work hard for it. And I guess working hard sometimes cannot be an easy feat for anybody, but, you get results. So to
True.
all the students, all the teachers, padayon lang, keep working. We're gonna get through this. I'm very positive we will get through this. So
See you in the hallways of Miagao sooner
yeah,
or
see you
later.
soon, Gal. I'm so excited.
Into that.
I'll do it.
May inom kita sa OMS. Ay, wala na OMS. Ito po.
Yes.
Ano man da.
From Hope naman, what's your message to your fellow students all over?
All over the world, to my fellow students.
Yes. This
Pero,
is being broadcast all over the world. So yes.
we're almost there. We're almost there. We're about to finish the sem. So,
Yes.
padayon lang. And of course, kung kapoy ka na, pahuway. Tapos padayon, di ba? Pahuway is very important.
Yes.
True.
And to my
Oh my
teachers,
gosh.
thank you so much.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Understanding, good sabong. Thank you so much. We couldn't have made it this far without you and the course facts.
Yeah.
We also feel Balan Hope nga ang students are also very appreciative of the kindness that actually kind of just reigns over this difficult times, because there's no time to be harsh anymore. I mean, it's just not the right time to be difficult, because it's already difficult as it is. So we hope that tonight's show sends a positive message to people everywhere, even to parents, because sometimes parents play a very crucial role in making sure that their children at home gets to maximize the possible learning experience despite the limitations. So
Right.
to everyone watching us tonight, we hope that this is not as quirky as the first episode, but I'm sure you are taking home a lot from this discussion with these very fabulous guests that I have tonight. Only me can put together. So
The power.
yes.
Oh,
And
yeah.
so,
Here.
we leave you with a happy Sunday, and we hope that in the coming weeks or days that there's a Christmas holiday rush, that you continue to be safe because there is still the pandemic around us. So
Not
please,
yet over.
even if you are attending parties, which the government highly discourages, we hope that you continue to observe the minimum health protocols. Face masks, social physical distancing, and of course, make sure that you have a face shield or just really stay away from people, right? Because it's not fun to get sick, especially for a kind of illness that there's no treatment yet. So please be safe and be healthy this Christmas season. So thank you very much, guys, for joining us tonight. And to all my guests, I love you very much. Julie, Ray, and Elaine. How we will spend days chatting together. And Hope, thank you. We will have a Zoom session tomorrow in the morning, okay?
Yes.
But yes,
Yes, we're going to review the engagement.
last
of
na ginaho,
everyone
promise
up
is the
there.
last. But yes, for next week's episode, everybody, it's gonna be my Christmas special, and I have very special friends joining me. My friends who have left the country, and they're somewhere else in the world. They're coming together again next week for the show. So we hope that you join me because we're gonna talk about pretty much personal stuff about what I missed during Christmases, and maybe talk about how Christmas is spent during the time of the pandemic, because that's really the most relevant kind of topic that we can talk about today. So to all my guests, thank you very much. To all those that watch, maraming salamat. Let me
Good
just
job.
check the comments that we have. Ma'am Susan is saying, push lang ng push. Congrats, Bob, Ray, Elaine, Julie, and Hope. Thank you, Ma'am Susan.
Thank you.
Boss, thank you so much.
See you Tuesday.
Joey Ann, wala ako kaabot.
Julie Ann.
I'm what?
I-preview na lang, Joy.
Oh, Marky is watching. Hi.
All right, guys, let's drink to the weekend. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
I hope na
Thank you
drink.
for
Good
inviting
Christmas,
us
Julie.
back.
Thank you, Manang Elaine, Ray, Julie. Thank you, and Hope.
Cheers.
Alcohol lang
Good
yan.
night, everybody. Julie.
Good night.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.